Welcome, everybody, to the HubSpot user group event today. This is HubSpot AEO for local businesses. Build local pages AI actually refers to. I'm gonna talk a little bit about why I created this event in a second. But in the meantime, as I said, let us know in the chat who you are, your name, your location, your position, and company. We want to know who we're talking to, and we want to connect people with each other. So this is a great place to connect with other marketers, other business owners, other people that are doing amazing things and learning together. So good stuff, good stuff. All right. I'm Gabriel Malgruglia. I'm the CEO and founder of Nextiny Marketing. We are a 100% HubSpot agency. We've been a HubSpot marketing and sales agency for 25 years now. We started as a website company, SEO. Our journey put us through lead generation, customer acquisition, becoming a HubSpot marketing agency, then doing video marketing and all these things together. Now working towards AEO, which is, again, the journey is incredible because all the things that we've been doing over the years brought us to doing a lot of the things that we needed to do for AEO. And we'll talk a little bit about that today and how you can do this yourself. We have, and I'm going to share some resources here, my email, our website. Is the screen being shared? Yes, there you go. I'm going to share my email, my website, and my LinkedIn just so everybody has the information to connect. And I'm also sharing an AEO guide that we have that you guys can download for free, which shows you how to do everything we're talking about step by step. We also have a special with an audit that we're doing. It's a HubSpot audit. We also run a full event on how to run an AEO audit. I'll share that blog with the recording also if you want to do it yourself. And we have a bunch of events coming up. If you want to check any of the events from our past events, our recordings, that's the link for all the recordings. And we have 2 events coming up now. We have July 15th, how to turn webinars into an AI visibility engine with HubSpot AEO. And July 29th, HubSpot AEO, what we learned comparing ChatGPT, Gemini, and Perplexity brand visibility. So these are, again, all part of the From SEO to AEO webinar series in the HubSpot user group. So excited to continue to do this series. We're going to go through the agenda here. Let me see, is there any questions? No, we're good. All right, let's talk about the agenda today. We'll do a little review. I know if you connected before, you've heard some of these things. There's some new things that I added from the past events. How AI is redefining client acquisition. We'll make that quick. We'll talk about how to influence what AI says about you. That's one of the most important pieces of the puzzle. It's like what you can actually do to influence Google AI overviews, ChatGPT, Perplexity, Claude. We'll talk about the HubSpot AEO tool and how we use it. We'll help you a little bit how to set it up. And then we'll talk directly about local AEO and how it's not the same as local SEO and some of the differences. We'll go through specific cases where you can actually make an impact with local SEO AEO. We'll talk about how to use HubSpot AEO for local businesses, how you can actually set it up for a local business and locations. And then we'll talk about examples and success stories so you can see what actually could be created with all of this. So again, if you have any questions, as always, let me know, put it in the chat, and then we can go off mute at the end of the presentation. We'll do Q&A, and you guys can go off mute and we can have a whole conversation too. But in the meantime, if you have any questions about anything we're talking about, put it in the chat and I'll try to answer everybody as we go. All right, how is AI redefining client acquisition? I'll go very quickly through this. We know this. Search is not the same as it was. Google AI overviews has shifted the way the whole front page of Google works. At the same time, you have AI mode, you have Gemini, and you have ChatGPT and other LLMs like Claude, Perplexity, also changing the way people find you, validate you, and other things. So SEO is not dead, it's just evolving. So how do we stay visible? There's certain numbers that we cannot ignore. 60% of Google searches now end up in 0-click. Ren Fishking, the founder of Moz, one of the biggest SEO companies in the world, the SEO software in the world, is talking a lot about zero-click marketing. Zero-click marketing doesn't mean zero marketing. It doesn't mean no marketing. It doesn't mean that your website doesn't exist or what you're doing in marketing is not going to have an impact. It means we're not optimizing for clicks. We're not optimizing only for visits to your website. So we'll talk a little bit about that. 70% of B2B buyers compare their decision journey before contacting sales. That's happening in B2C too, and we'll talk a little bit about that too. So AI is becoming the new homepage, but don't freak out because Google's still 210 times bigger than ChatGPT. People use Google. Google is getting better, but Google is now an AI model too. It's not just a search engine with links. You get the answer directly. We'll show you a little bit of that. Now, the good news about all of this and the reason why this is exciting is because when people come from these conversations in LLMs and, AI-driven discovery or comparisons, they are way higher, qualified than they were before when you were getting a bunch of visits from people that didn't even know why they ended up on your website. These are highly qualified visits, 3 times, 4 times, 5 times more conversion from lead to client when they come from LLMs. And we have seen that firsthand. This is a HubSpot report where you see organic traffic, 4,000 visits, 42 leads, 1 client versus AI referrals, 90 visits, 2 leads, 1 client. So this is, again, we're not optimizing for visits from AI referrals. We're optimizing from influence, our AI brand visibility, in the app on clients, who will talk about that. And the problem that we're seeing is that people are still operating from a perspective that visits, leads, and clients. And you should continue to optimize for these things. And these things are still very important. The same way you should continue to optimize for SEO because that's the foundation of AEO, and you should continue to optimize for local SEO because that's the foundation for local AEO. But this is not it. This visits, leads, and clients is not the full picture of what you are trying to impact because AI has changed the whole buyer's journey, not just discovery, not just how people find you and your services and your solutions and your products, but also how they compare you, how they validate you against competitors, how they handle objections, how they make decisions. All of the different aspects of a buyer's journey are now educated and influenced by AI models. People are having full-on conversations about everything they need from the moment they start talking about the problem they have, finding the solutions that they need to find, comparing the different solutions, deciding on the solution they want, comparing the different companies that provide that solution or product to the moment that they're buying the actual product or service. Someone might be signing a contract and going before they sign a contract saying, I'm about to sign a contract with this company. They're going to do this. Here's the contract. People do that. They just drop the things in there. Compare this to other companies. Are there better companies, cheaper companies? More local companies, more companies specialized in my industry, whatever it is that they're asking. And if you don't control that narrative, AI will find it somewhere else. It will find it on your competitors, on reviews, or whatever it is. And that's what we're talking about today. We'll focus on local, but this is it, controlling the narrative. And a good example of that is we're running audits, AEO audits on all of our clients. And again, AI is probabilities, and AI is trying to find how probable it is that you are actually showing up when something is searching, but also not only on discovery, your brand visibility as your brand. When people are asking about you, comparing you, you need to understand where things come from. And this is a good example of not controlling the narrative. One of our clients, we run an AEO audit, and we found a video from 11 years ago on YouTube that had 55,000 views, 5,500 views. And it was actually describing the whole company, but this was an old webinar with old content, old people, old products. Nothing was relevant to who they were today. So how do you control the narrative? Well, first of all, AI doesn't rely on one source anymore. That's why a video from 11 years ago became the most trusted source for defining a company that has blog articles and websites and a lot of things. Because what AI is trying to do is find consensus. It's trying to understand your company by finding consensus on the entities, connecting the entities. We'll mention entities in a second. And it's the only way to affect that is running multi-channel strategy for two reasons. Because AI finds consensus in multiple places. So it'll check your website, it'll check reviews, it'll check your competitors' websites, it'll go to social media and check conversations, it'll go to Reddit. And if anybody's mentioning your brand, it better be in a good light, or your service is around your brand. It'll check reviews and mentions, but also because that's where people are making the decisions. People are on LinkedIn, people are on Reddit. People are going to Google something, end up on a Reddit conversation, and you need to be present in that Reddit conversation. Where people are is where you need to be creating content and creating conversations and creating human connections. All of those human connections create a better probability of you showing up in AI, and AI finding consensus of your brand connected to your services, connected to those different things. The other question that we get a lot of times is, okay, hold on. My clients don't use AI. My clients don't use ChatGPT to find. My clients are old, or they're a different industry that are not allowed to use this or that. Well, we have, clients that are retirement communities, luxury retirement communities, and that's a good example of that, or luxury builders. And we had this question, some months ago, and it was like 85-year-old people or 65, 75-year-old people are not going to be like, how do I do this on ChatGPT? That might not be the case, but the journey is not necessarily the person goes to ChatGPT and goes to a company. Now that is happening. And that's the example of the 90 AI referrals into 2 leads into 1 client. We have an example of someone that was working with an agency that could do all these methodologies and using HubSpot. And they went to ChatGPT and said, I am not happy with this company. Find me other agencies, other HubSpot agencies that work with this, and this. And we showed up, they contacted us, and they've been a client for 2 years. This is ChatGPT started in 2022. So it's a great example of that journey. Now, that journey might not be the case for a lot of your clients or your ideal clients, but you need to understand that is not necessarily someone downloading ChatGPT, creating an account and using it for everything all day long. If they go to Google, the experience is an AI overview. If you use Gemini through the different tools that they have in Google and Gmail and this and that, that's an AI experience. If they search in different places, AI mode will show up immediately. Perplexity is becoming a search engine on its own. There's voice search, there's browsers that are AI now. So a lot of people are having all kinds of AI experiences without having to actively decide to use AI in their lives. The perfect example of this is Google Maps. This is not a search or business, decision software, but we have been using Google Maps for 20 years. That is 100% AI driven. AI is being used through Google Maps every day. Every time the map says, all these people are going slow because I can follow the speed of the phone because I have the app connected. That means there's traffic here. Let's send people there. That is all AI driven. So the same way we've been using AI through Google Maps without even noticing, we are using it every day through search and browsers and all kinds of experiences. The greatest example is Google itself. You go to Google, you search for something. Now the whole page is taking over with AI overviews. The AI overviews giving you answers. That's an LLM. That is just like ChatGPT or Perplexity or Claude. And then it says, ask me more. Like it says, ask me anything. Like right there, it gives you another bigger prompt place where you can just have a full-on conversation about that thing you just searched. And you're immediately immersed into AI mode, which is 100% powered by Gemini, which is an amazing AI model that competes with ChatGPT and Claude and Perplexity. So that is not only happening in search, it's happening in tools. So if you're on Google, you will get AI mode. If you're on Gmail, you'll have Gemini right next to you telling you things and trying to connect the dots. If you're creating a slide, you're doing the same thing. And this is not necessarily only for Google tools. If you're a Microsoft person, or if you're using Word, or if you're using anything in Microsoft, because you work, your ideal clients work in a company that doesn't allow them to use AI, and they use Microsoft has Copilot, is their AI model. So if your ideal clients are corporate USA or corporate anywhere in the world, and they're not allowed to use Claude or Gemini or Perplexity, make sure you optimize your brand and your everything to Copilot, which is the one that they're going to be allowed to use. So think about that too. People are using AI more and more. So AEO, answer engine optimization, is about visibility, trust, and consistency around the internet. Any questions, guys? Do you want to put anything in the chat? Anybody wants to come off mute and ask me a question about this? Is this making sense? I want to make sure that everybody's on the same page. Give me a thumbs up if it's making sense. Or if you're awake. That's another one. There you go. Multiple thumbs ups, everybody. Thank you. Everybody's awake. We're doing it. So the question is, how? Don't fall asleep, Yoel. I know you're super excited about this. So how to influence what AI says about you. And this is important. I won't bore you with this. You just need to understand that when AI builds the answer, it asks multiple queries internally. So if you want to, run a marathon in November in New York City, and you say, how do I run a marathon in November in New York City? It'll ask itself, what's the weather in New York City in November? How to run a marathon? What products do I need to run a marathon? What shoes do I need how to train for a marathon, in the winter, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And then it'll build the answer. That's why multi-channel strategies help you, because you have a bigger probability to become the different chunks of answers that build the answer at the end when it finds consensus around the different answers that it got. Now, people have been doing this now for years, which is using AI-generated content to try to fake the system. So I literally read a post on Reddit yesterday that said, oh, you want to do AEO? All the things that worked 10 years ago for SEO and then they were banned are working for AEO. And then it said, so take it while it lasts, because it'll be gone soon. And this could be more accurate, because yes, you can create 1,000 articles about a topic right now. You can go to AI and say, create me 20 articles about this topic, about this specialty, and AI will give you 20 articles and you can post them today. And you can do that every day for the next 6 months. Well, what's interesting is that Search Engine Land did this. They did the test. They run the experiments. And what they saw is that immediately traffic and conversions and everything went up. Google and AI models were showcasing all this content. And then all of a sudden, it dropped. It kind of got steady for a while, some months, and then it died completely. I have seen this happening with brands. Years ago, when people were creating crappy content and copying content from other places. And now with AI, I've seen it with brands that didn't do the right thing, that they've been creating crappy content with AI. I call it the sea of crap. It's like impossible to differentiate any company. Everybody's creating the same content regurgitated from another content that exists already. So this is the recipe to failure. If you're generating content 100% from AI, this is the recipe for failure, and you need to make sure you don't do this. They ask you answer by Marcus Sheridan. Yes, still relevant, Yoel. And by the way, they ask you answer. We love they ask you answer. We love StoryBrand, two methodologies that we use continuously at Nextiny. And I'm going to tell you something. They ask you answer, got it years ago. They ask you answer is all about answering real ideal client questions, not fake ideal client questions that you think your client. No, you need to go deep and understand Ask your salespeople, ask your customer service people, ask your clients, ask in sales conversations, what got you here? What questions do you have? Use your CRM, nowadays, even better, HubSpot CRM, all the sales conversations, all the customer service tickets, all the different things that you can use from your CRM, that all that information is in there. You can use Breeze to capture what questions people have asked. If you're using the HubSpot CRMs to the fullest, Breeze can give you this information and answer your ideal clients' questions. Create blog articles, create social posts. We'll talk about that in a second. And create contents, FAQ kind of content to answer your ideal clients' questions. So yes, the Ask You Answer is super relevant, but it has to be real. It can't be fake stuff. It can't be created from AI. And we talk about this a lot. And we created a framework for this. The Human to Answer framework, I created this months ago from an experiment that I run myself for the last 7-8 months. And I'm going to share the link to the experiment later. We run an experiment on how to do this using webinars, using real content, using this platform to answer your questions. You just asked me, Joel, is the Ask You Answer still relevant for AEO? And the answer is yes. And I explained it. That's an FAQ that will go on the blog article that I will create from this webinar, because you, a real person that's here today, that you're doing your thing, you know your thing, and we're doing our thing. Humans helping humans. This is literally what AI and Google wants to know from you. Your expertise, your experience, your opinion matter. Humans matter. It's crazy how we saw AI and we said, oh, let's create a bunch of fake stuff and try to make it rank on AI. How is that the answer? Fast and more is not the answer. More human is the answer. And the beautiful part of this whole thing that's happening right now, people call it a revolution sometimes, the AI revolution. AI would say this is the AI revolution, is that AI and Google wants you to be the most human ever, because they've already said it. Weeks ago, Google said it, that they will not rank, cite, or mention any content they can create themselves. Just think about that for a second. ChatGPT can create their own content. Google can create their own content. Claude can create their own content. So they can compare your content with the content that they can create themselves about the same topic. And if there's no difference or any opinions, expertise, EEAT, right? Yeah, expertise, trustworthiness, all the things that were important for Google and SEO before, if you cannot differentiate you from that, it will not rank and cite that content. So that's why we built the Human to Answer framework. And I'll make it super quick. I'll share the blog so you guys can follow the whole thing, so you understand what I'm talking about. And later you can check it out. But the Human to Answer framework is all about capturing reality. Step one is you capture reality. Webinars, videos, what you're doing with other humans. Take a video of what you're doing. If you're a local business, this is super important. If you're a local business providing local services, local products, and we're talking about local, we're going to get deeper into local in a second. But if you're local, go create videos showcasing you doing things in your area, with people in your area, with products and services in your area. Capture those moments, reality, and then from that, use AI to create blog articles, create social posts, create Reddit conversations, create video clips, put them on YouTube, and all the different things that you need to do. That is extracting the answers, automizing the content, then distributing it everywhere so you can create that consensus, then understanding how AI actually is showcasing you, and then growing from there. And this becomes a loop. This is loop marketing at its best. It's using loop marketing. They Ask You Answer, sort of methodology, all the things we've learned in the last years to capture reality, number one, and then creating loops of content and interactions and helping humans, so AI can actually understand and trust your content, because the consensus comes from trust. Joel, you said, yes, the essence must be real answers to real questions, but does the age of AI to help write the later AI to humanize that content and validate this? No, because when you create content using AI, what the most important thing about what you're doing is the input. People miss this. People sit down with ChatGPT and they say, create this. And they expect AI, ChatGPT, Claude, Google, Gemini, whatever it is, to come up with the content, to give the expertise, to find the expertise somewhere else, and showcase it in a blog. And that's easy. What you need to do is the opposite. You need to provide the slides of your webinar, the recording of your webinar, the transcript of your webinar, the transcript of your videos, of your podcast, whatever it is that comes from capturing reality, put it all there. Context from other articles you've written, a voice memo. You just literally, if a CEO doesn't want to write an article, just have them voice memo themselves while they're driving home every day. And that half an hour becomes the source that is captured. Again, step one from the human to answer framework, capturing the CEO's mind in transcripts, and then use that as an input. Whatever you create from AI after that is going to be 99.99% human. And AI will know that because it comes from real expertise from a real person. Jeff said, yes, exactly. Feeding the great escaping machine. See this. Oh, thank you. Thank you for feeding the machine. Yeah. And speaking of that, I have an article about the AI content trap, which is what we just talked about, to share here. We run a whole webinar about this and explain the content trap and how not to use it. So recommend doing this. Of course, you need to understand entities, first of all, which are like keywords, but just as always, I give this example. Apple is a keyword. Apple, the fruit, versus Apple, the company, are entities. They give you more context. You need to understand the name of your company, the name of you, the CEO, whomever is the face of the company, the name of your products, your services, your methodologies, your softwares, your frameworks, whatever it is that you use. Those nouns are your entities, and you need to connect the dots between those entities. I'll talk more about that when we talk about listing bloggings for local businesses, because that's critical. So think about that. Then also, I've been talking about this. Your best content already exists. Is in recordings of client meetings, is in internal recordings that you make on Zoom, and videos, webinars, podcasts, sales conversations, customer questions. A lot of this should be in your CRM. So you should be able to go to Breeze and ask, what are the top questions that my salespeople get asked every day? What are the objections? What are the gaps of contents we don't have? All of that, HubSpot AI's Breeze can help you with this. And again, think they ask your answer. You see, Joel, I wasn't lying 100%. They ask your answers. Amazing. And when we do human to answer framework and run these loops, my favorite way to do this is through webinars. Webinars are the easiest way to create these loops and run them continuously. You run a webinar, you take the transcript, the slides, you put a cool prompt, and I have some examples if you want to see them. And you put that in ChatGPT, you can take that turn it into a blog immediately. You take the videos, if you're using Wistia, which I totally recommend you check it out. You can create clips. There's multiple tools to do this. You can do it with HubSpot too, using the Remix tool. You can create different clips for the best moments. You can, Wistia has a great tool that allows you to, it's also called Remix, by the way, it's crazy. You can create little videos with the key takeaways of the webinar. So there you have a blog article. You have multiple clips from the video. You have the full transcript you can use to create social posts. As soon as the article is ready, you start creating little social posts for LinkedIn, for this, for that, using the entities, using all the stuff. You post the video on YouTube with a post that you created on ChatGPT. You put the video clip on LinkedIn and start a conversation about it, asking questions, engaging with real humans. More feedback gets into the loop to learn about each loop. You run all these processes, You're posting blogs, social posts, Reddit conversations, clips on YouTube. All of these become trusted sources for AI to control the narrative on your brand. And then you run the next webinar and it starts over. That is the easiest way to do this. Teach people, educate, empower other humans. Humans helping humans, guys. Miranda says, for LinkedIn, do you recommend posting from the business account or individual team members? Great question, Miranda. You're onto something right there. We do both. The company posts, it's more, legit. It's more, this is a blog article. This is what we're talking about. This is an event we have, promotional stuff, latest blog articles, ask a question and answer it, but then have someone, a person, and this works for multiple things. I'll talk about all of them in a second. You do have to use a person, either the CEO, the marketing director, whomever it is going to be the face of the company. You should have LinkedIn posts written by that person and continue to do that for everything you do around everything we just talked about. And then have that person be the author of your blogs on your website. So then the entity of that person is connected to that brand, is connected to those services, those products, those solutions to your ideal clients' questions and problems. And all of this is connected through people. Because in LinkedIn, you'll get a lot more engagement. And by the way, Google and ChatGPT and Perplexity and all the different AI models will trust people more than they will trust you, the brand. So even though I'm the CEO of Nextiny, Gabriel Marguglio, when I say things, they understand that I'm putting myself out there. Google understands that when I say something, it's not so much the brand is promoting a service, it's Gabriel putting itself out there. And I have to answer the questions that people say. And if I start a conversation on Reddit, it better not be too self-promotional, because then you get all the crazy people going like, ooh, yet another AI generated post by another marketer that's marketing their services. So you need to put yourself out there. So someone needs to do this. Become the author of the blogs. Don't have your company name as the author. Make sure you create a page for the author with links to their LinkedIn, their Reddit, all the conversations. All of this is connecting the entities. And by the way, do I have a blog for you? Miranda, right here, I wrote an article about how to use LinkedIn and Reddit for AEO, and this works for local AEO too. Person writing about more corporate posts for implicit corroboration and endorsement. Yes, Yoel. And you'll see, go to my LinkedIn. Go follow me on my LinkedIn. I'm going to put the link right here. Again, what you'll see is I do a lot of posts about what I talk about here, because it's what I'm teaching, what I'm testing. I'm going back, I test things. I run them on LinkedIn. I go to Reddit. I create a conversation. I create the blog from the webinar, and then it goes and feeds all these different things. But it's all connected to the blog article, the webinar that's coming, the whatever concept we're testing right now, and it is connecting the entities to Nextiny. Now, depending on the different platforms that you're using, you can connect more the entities than others. If you're creating a YouTube video on, Nextiny's, by the way, YouTube, you can do it from the brand. That there's no problem with that. That could be all connected to the entities of the brand. If you're on LinkedIn, it's better if I do it. So I post as myself, and on LinkedIn, I connect the entities of Nextiny, and I tag Nextiny, and I say, here's the blog, and I link it. Usually on LinkedIn, you do it on the comment, right? On Reddit is different, because and follow that. On Reddit, you have to be non-self-promotional. So when you create the content, and I won't go too deep, but the article can help you. When you create the content on Reddit, you want to make sure that content is not self-promotional. The first question is educational, and it starts a conversation. And then you can post on the content, on the comments. You can add your brand, you can add your products, you can add the link and things like that. All right, let's keep going. I talked about YouTube, Reddit, and LinkedIn because those are the best places to do this. And you're going to do this for local businesses. I'm showing you here how YouTube, LinkedIn, and Reddit shows up consistently as sources for AI for Google. The example on the left is us creating Reddit posts, Reddit videos, a YouTube video, and then our website, taking the whole page of the whole first page for how to pick the right HubSpot agency for AEO, or how to, our webinar is good for AEO, things like that. Again, start capturing reality, your expertise, your experience, your opinions, and then go out there where people are and post those things to create the connections to the entities with trust sources. A video will generate more trust. An opinion, statistics, some kind of number you came up from, actual real numbers you created from reality, right? All those things are important for AI. So I'll go quickly through an AEO tool. The HubSpot AEO tool, if you haven't played with this and you're doing AEO or local AEO, you have to go and check it out. If your plan doesn't have it, it's $50 a month, so it's a no-brainer. You can start tracking your AI brand visibility today. It takes literally 10 minutes to set up, and you can set up your prompts. I'll talk more about this because we'll talk about how to do it locally. But you set up you can see your brand visibility. You can see your sentiment score, how good your brand is being showcased. You can do your competitors analysis to see what's going down and up with your competitors. You can analyze prompts, and you can add prompts directly. We'll talk about it in the local section in a second. And each prompt, you can go deeper and see how that prompt is going up or down. Just remember, I see a lot of people out there saying, this is not possible. AI models are all probabilistic, and we cannot, measure AI brand visibility because it changes every day. It's true. AI changes every day. That's why HubSpot actually put together an AI AEO sensor. The AEO sensor, I'm sharing the link right here. The sensor tells you how volatile AI is today. So you understand if your things are changing because of things you're doing yourself, or because AI is volatile today against, versus yesterday, right? But remember, probabilistic doesn't mean it's impossible to optimize. And I will show you how we use AEO, HubSpot AEO, to tackle on a local business with a local location, doing aspects of it, and then increasing the probability of the brand being mentioned and cited and linked. So this is a real tool you can use to do real things. Do not get, bugged by all those people on Reddit that say, it is impossible to measure. It is possible to measure. It's not visits and leads, because that's like reality. This is probability of you showing up on AI models, which changes all the time, but you can track it. And that's the beauty of HubSpot AEO. You can track citations, which means the links. And again, the difference between a mention and a citation is, a mention is the name shows up. When you say, what is the best HubSpot AEO agency? It'll say Nextiny Marketing, right? Hopefully, probabilistically higher at the top right there. Not all the time, right? Or being mentioned in the list. The different companies that do this are Nextiny and. That's a mention. A citation, it's a link to my business, a link to your business. You want that too, because ultimately visits to your website are also desirable, especially visits to your website now that it's harder than ever. So showing up on the side, or when you go to the sources, on the little link right next to that part of the answer is very important. So you need to track that. And I'll tell you more in a second about the local part of it. So, and then again, HubSpot AEO gives you recommendations. We'll talk about that in a second. So let's make sure, now that we understand the general aspects of AEO, how you can actually affect it and how you can track it with HubSpot AEO, let's talk about how local AEO is not exactly the same as local SEO. Yes, local SEO is still important. What you've been doing to affect your local rankings on Google still helps today. Having a good Google business profile and set up with your keywords and your industries and all that stuff, it's important. Having local keywords targeted with the city and the state and all those things in blog articles, on the footer of your website, on your contact us page, important. Local citations. Citations were a thing we used to do for all local businesses. The different directories, Yelp, this and that, important still. And more important now, we'll talk about it in a second. Managing online reviews. Reviews are not just, and I'll make a bigger deal in a second, reviews are just a source of trust signals for AI now. It's not just, a number somewhere. So these are more important now than ever. And then, of course, optimizing your website for local SEO is important. If AI finds different phone numbers, different addresses, inconsistent information, that is going to affect you too. Now, AI also trusts consensus. It will compare your website, Yelp, BBB reviews, Chamber of Commerce reviews, everything. So let's talk about the 2 or 3 things you can do today to affect your local AEO. And these are true things we have done with clients that are working, and we're tracking through HubSpot AEO. So the first thing is local listing blogs. This is a typical thing that we used to do for SEO. The top companies for this service in this location. That's a typical blog we used to write. Everybody used to write this blog. And the blog used to go like this. When you're looking for a company that does these services in this location, there are multiple companies that can help you. And different companies act differently. Blah, 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 blah. Here are the companies. And usually you would not put yourself at the top because that looks like you're faking it. And you would put a bunch of companies and you would kind of say good things about them and because everybody has their own audience, and you might not put your best competitor, your biggest competitor there or something like that. This is they ask you answer at its best, right? And then at the end you would say, also, we do this and you're already on our website. So this is great, right? Well, not necessarily anymore, because people don't have to get to your website to read that blog article. AI and Google will read it, will summarize it, and use it to create the answer. So hold on. That means now you have become a trusted source to showcase your competitors. You might get the citation. You might have the link, but in the list, you might not show up. And this is real stuff that happened to us with one of our clients. They were not showing up on the list for best companies that do these services in this area, when it is true that they do that. The link to that article was showing up as a citation, as a source, as a trusted source for the answer, but they were not on the list. How crazy is that? Because they were showcasing their competitors more than themselves. So we turn it around, we rewrote that article. We wrote first about why it's important to find companies that do these things this way, and these methodologies and these way of doing things are important. That's how you find the best companies that do this in this area. And by the way, we are great at all these important things. And yes, here's some other companies that do that. And here's the pros and cons to some of them. This company might be too big. This company might be too small. You reframe it, you relaunch it. That becomes new content that AI loves because it's fresh. And that helps you grow. For that becomes the source, but also becomes a mention, which is critical to have both. Any questions about this one? I love this one because it works so well. And I'll tell you how to track it in a second. Let me know if you have any questions in the chat. I want to make sure that we go through all of this. Amazing, Miriam, right? Like amazing. When I saw, I'm going to tell you something. When I saw that the article they wrote was helping their competitors, showcasing their competitors, and it was still showing up as the source, I'm like, oh my gosh, we are helping them without helping ourselves. It's incredible. It's better off to just delete the article instead of keeping it that way. So reframe it, make it happen. The second one is reviews. Reviews are now not just content that, in a number somewhere, but it's also citations and content for AI sources as a trust source. Because reviews are real people saying real things about you, about the real things you did. And whatever reviews you have are going to affect your AI brand visibility. If you have better reviews and more reviews, it'll help you showcase your brand higher or showcase it against your competitors. If you have bad reviews, it'll create the narrative for your brand. So running a good business and running a good review strategy, so every time someone's happy, you ask them for a review, which is my way of doing it, is like, oh, you want more reviews? Okay, make sure everybody in your company knows that every time any single one of your clients says, oh, it was great what Jennifer did with us because of this. Oh, hold on. Do you mind putting that in a review? Oh, guys, I'm so happy. The website is so beautiful. Oh, hold on. Can you put that on a review? That is how you get better reviews, by asking people that are happy to go write it somewhere. So make sure that strategy exists. You can use HubSpot. Service Hub has a whole service. You can use automatic emails that go out. We do that. We have a process that every time someone, you can do it. You can do a little poll and say, are you happy? I'm happy, or no. And if they say like an NPS score, and if they say 8 or 9, then it goes, or 9 or 10, it goes automatically as an email that says, ask for a review, right? So think about that. Reviews are super important. Yoel, you said maybe after the second or third replay of the entire webinar, I might be able to phrase the many questions I have. Amazing, Yoel. Please write them all down. Send them to me on an email. I'll be happy to help, and I'll make another webinar just for you, man, with the questions that you asked me. That's exactly what the human to answer question is. That framework is all about. It's getting the questions from real humans and then creating content to answer those. So yes, please ask more questions. So reviews, super, super, super important. Pay attention to this. This is not just for local businesses. This is for every business. Reviews are the trusted source, one of the biggest trusted source for AI. So keep that in mind. Other citations, and this is hilarious to me. We were doing an AEO audit using HubSpot AEO, and at the bottom it says these are the top domains, that are getting citations. And I saw the Chamber of Commerce for the local business showing up as a trusted source. And I'm like, what the heck is this? What do you mean a Chamber of Commerce is now the trusted source? And then I started thinking, first of all, I clicked on it and it showed their Chamber of Commerce profile with all the information, the old name of the company, the wrong link. Again, this is like that 11-year-old video on YouTube, controlling the narrative. A Chamber of Commerce webpage that was created 5 years ago or something like that with the wrong information was the trusted source where AI was saying, yeah, this is the company. This is it. This is what the information is. Why? Think about it. The same way YouTube is a video with people talking. That's trust. You can trust that better than what a marketing company or marketer wrote for the company. Well, if you think about it, a Chamber of Commerce is a separate entity that has to check if the company exists. They're paying money. They're checking if the company is local. So for local SEO, the Chamber of Commerce is critical, because if you have a Chamber of Commerce, you better have, like if you're heavily doing local SEO and SEO and you need to show up for a locality because you have an office or a business, you better be in the Chamber of Commerce and in the BBD and in all those old things that might not care anymore. You might not care anymore, but now they're critical because AI is saying, someone checked this, so this is probably true. And the marketers in the company cannot affect this. They can't just put whatever they want. Someone in the Chamber of Commerce is checking it. So think about these other things. The other one is listing reviews and listing websites. There's a ton of listing websites in the past. And yes, we have used some for local SEO, and you can create citations with tools like Bright Local and things like that. And that's all great. And it still works. But just go and check using HubSpot AEO which ones are actually showing the most. Like Clutch, we had an IT company that was one of our clients, and Clutch was a huge thing when it's not necessarily good for IT, but now they're doing Clutch reviews because of that thought, because of showing it up there. And of course, check other ones. I'm just telling you the ones that we have found, but go check what happens in HubSpot AEO and look at those sources to make them grow. So let's talk about how to set up HubSpot AEO for local businesses. First of all, create groups. So if you're tracking AI brand visibility with HubSpot AEO for locations, and you have, I don't know, 4, 5, 10 prompts for a specific location, and you have multiple locations, then create groups for each location so you can actually track how the AI brand visibility, how the sentiment, how the citations are changing for that location only when you do specific things for that location. And this is a good example right there. We had nothing in Knoxville and it started growing and growing and growing. You can see ChatGPT is coming late to the game. That happens all the time. This is one of the differences between the different models, and things go up and down, but we have like 75% for Perplexity, almost 100% for Gemini, and like 20%, 15% for ChatGPT for nothing. That's how you track it with HubSpot AEO. Set up the prompts for the location, set up a group, and look at the group separately. The other thing you need to know is go look at that group's recommendations. The recommendations are a genius thing that HubSpot did. HubSpot is not just tracking AI brand visibility. It's not just tracking sentiment. It's not just tracking citations and comparisons with your competitors. It's telling you what to do and where to do it on the recommendations. So go create a video, go create a blog article, go put something on this Reddit conversation. It's telling you what to do. And if you separate it per group, then you'll see the ones that will affect that group specifically. So some of the things I've told you, the citation, the blog article, the listing, those are some of the things that you'll see here. And you'll see new ones that HubSpot will tell you all the time. Not all of these are perfect, but definitely check them out. HubSpot AEO examples, this is just to show you how in weeks, by doing these little things specifically to one location, to one service, to one specific separated group, you can make them grow and you can see how it grows. And then not only you can see, generally speaking, how it grows, you can see the specific group, how it grows, the specific location, how it grows, but then you can correlate this to more visits to the website. At the end of the day, AI brand visibility is what we need to be tracking and understanding and growing, but you need to also see the correlation with visits and leads and clients and all those things. So measure everything and connect the dots between how this is helping your whole organization grow. And from that, I have actually 2 case studies. One that we run, how to use HubSpot AEO to actually do what I just told you to do, and specifically run AEO reports with HubSpot AEO. And the other one is the actual 7 to 8 months test and experiment that I've been running the webinars, doing the blogs, doing the social, doing LinkedIn and Reddit and all those things. So all that you can find it there. I already share the how to run an AI audit, but I'm going to put it right here. I also have the how to use LinkedIn and Reddit. I'm putting it right here too. The AI content trap that I already shared too. The human to answer framework. I'm sharing it right here. But then I have this one about schema. Schema is very important. When you're doing all these things in your website, make sure schema is done. That's the programming behind your website that tells AI what structure content. This is a video. This is an FAQ page. This is a question. This is an answer. This is the organization name. Local organization for schema is very important for your locality. You can put the geolocation of the business. You can put the address of the business. When you're running events, if the event is a local event in a real venue, create schema for that event page with the location of the event. That will make that page very localized and it will help create more trusted sources to connect your brand, your entities, your services, your solutions with that specific location and help your local SEO and AEO grow. That's the schema blog that helps you with that. And then I have a couple of other articles right here that can help you with video and a generic how AI is changing client acquisition. So if you want to go deeper in all of these, I'm including this in all my my presentations now. Is, you know, we're doing so many things. Take a picture of this, take a screenshot. It's going to be on the recording anyways. But this is the steps that I would recommend when you're running AEO in general, like fix your SEO foundations, implement schema, structure content, define and connect entities. All these things are important. If you have any questions about any of these, ask me. These are the quick wins, just so everybody remembers. And I'm going to share my information here in case anybody wants to connect. Local SEO is not the same as local AEO. Your buyers don't need to use ChatGPT for AI to influence their decisions. AI is being used everywhere. Reviews are no longer just social proof. They are AI training data and trust signals. Location pages should answer local questions, showcase local expertise, and connect services, reviews, and location together. Another thing you can do is you can create blog articles with your reviews from specific areas. So you can say reviews from service provided with people or this company in this area, and then share reviews on your blog. That creates more connection on those entities. Location pages should answer location questions, showcase local expertise, and connect services. So boom, everybody, 1 to 10, tell me in the chat, how did we do? How did I do today? And we have, if you guys want to stay a little bit more for questions, let me know. Put it on the chat, 1 to 10. How did we do? Yes, 1,000. That's what I love. Where are all the peoples that say 9 or 10 or 8 or 8.5? 9.9, Yoel. Yes, you're one of those. It's never perfect. I get it. I'm sharing the AEO guide here. I'm sharing the AEO SEO package for the audit. And I'm going to share again the events that we have running. Make sure you register for these 2 events. July 15, how to use webinars to run this whole thing like I showed you today. And July 29th, HubSpot AEO, what we learned comparing the different AI models. If you have any question, I'm here to help. And like I said, anything you need, please email me, send me a LinkedIn, and we'll connect for sure. Any questions, guys? I'm going to unshare here and make sure that we can talk about any questions you have. Any questions? You really should either do a workshop or a boot camp. I do a boot camp. I run the video strategy for Loop Marketing Sales and Service boot camp. This is a 6-week boot camp through HubSpot Academy. You get a certification, an official certification with HubSpot Academy. And we talk a lot about how video fuels AEO and brand visibility these days. So Yoel, if you want to join the bootcamp, for sure. We're also running a local workshop teaching people how to set up some HubSpot agents, customer agent, and also AEO, the HubSpot AEO. But yes, we're doing those things. Miriam, how we can be cited in HubSpot? It was the top domain in our example. Well, HubSpot, you can, if you run events, that's in the HubSpot domain. If you're an agency, you're a directory. If you work on HubSpot community, your community posts and answers to people. That's kind of where the HubSpot domain can, if you're a HubSpot agency, that's where it becomes important. Anything else, guys? Any other questions? Is this helpful? Someone is off mute. Go ahead. Any questions?
Thank you, Gabriel. I just have a question about videos and social posts and that kind of thing. How does the AI read the content of what you're posting? Like, so if I put out a video on YouTube per se, and I don't put a transcript in the description box, does it still go through the video and read the captions, or you know what I'm saying? Like, how do I make sure it's picking up on my social and YouTube posts?
I missed part of it. Can you repeat that question, please?
Sure. So I manage social media and AI optimization for my company. So I'm posting on social every day. I'm writing blogs. I'm updating our website to AEO or to AI optimized content. When it comes to videos, I've been transcribing what's in the video and putting it in the description. For the social posts, I don't do that exactly, but I try to put in there as much readable information as I can. But I'm just wondering how does AI read? How does it get its information from video content?
So great question. The video itself might not be taken into AI because different AI models will be able to read AI or not. Sometimes that happens. So just understand that Google is starting to read videos. Google can read, YouTube videos. It's a Google product, right? So that is already being transcribed automatically. What I would recommend is always using the transcript as the source of that. So when you're using video, you're using the transcript. And when you're posting video, make sure the video there's a transcript to it. So on LinkedIn, there's a way to have the transcript. On YouTube, there's a way to have the transcript. If you're sharing a YouTube video, it should have the transcript. If you're having your videos put on Wistia to put it on your website, there should be a transcript to your video, and you should clean the transcript to make sure that it works. So all that is important. And if you're using this on your website, blogs, and posts, make sure the schema is done for video, and the schema will include the transcript. So that is how you tell AI, this is what this video is about. This is the title, this is the description, this is the transcript. Does that make sense?
Yes. Okay.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Any other questions, guys?
Hello. I have the same question like Lindsay has asked you, but it's about the websites in blogs description. Like there will be title, then there will be a button for blog description when someone click there and he just listen to that blog. So it will help AI citation too.
You mean the one that you press play and you can read the blog? I don't know if that helps AI. I think that helps people. So anything that helps people, it's been consistent for the longest time that Google and now AI will reward you for making it easier for people to engage with your content. When you have, H2s are a way for people to skim the content, but it's also great for SEO and AEO because it helps Google and AI understand what the questions, the main topics are in this article. When you have a video that's explaining something more graphically, Google and AI will benefit from, they'll benefit from that, and they'll reward you for giving people a better way, a different way to engage with the content. So I always add the readable, the play button where you can read it like out loud, like if it was a podcast, because that makes it easier for people to do that. And whenever you're creating a better experience, a faster website, a more mobile friendly website, Google and AI will reward you. I'm not telling you that I have proof that helps with AEO, but I'm going to tell you something. If you help people, at the end of the day, you're doing everything for people. You're not doing everything for Google and AI. It will also, the more human you are, it will also help you with Google and AI, but the more human you are, the more other humans will like you, which is the goal here. The end goal is not for AI to like you, it's for humans to like you and buy your products and services. So yes, do it every time. Does that make sense? Any questions? Good. I see you have a question. I noticed that on my personal blog posts, returning viewers use the audio version of it, but first-time viewers rarely do. Yeah, and again, that's just an extra step to make sure that everybody has the way to engage with the content the best way possible. You know, I read blogs while I'm writing. So I either have my phone read them when I'm writing, while I'm walking, right? I'm doing my walks in the morning and I'm reading, I'm literally proofreading articles that I'm writing or reading other articles from other people. So if you have a way to just play button, that's always beneficial for me. So give people a different way to engage with things. Having the video and then having a blog explaining it is repeated. And then you have also a player, but different people will engage with the content differently. Someone will watch a whole video recording in 1x. I can't watch things, slower than 2x because I'm a crazy person. But then other people engage, reading more because they like reading words. So it's different for different people. So help different people differently. Anything else, guys? Any other questions? I'm here to help. Help people. Humans helping humans, guys. That is how you win in this crazy AI world, is to be more human. Be more human, capture that humanity, capture what differentiates you, what makes you and your brand and your services and your products better, different, specific to your audience, whatever it is, your opinion, your statistics, your results, your expertise, your experience as a human being, as a company built by human beings, is what AI wants to know, is what Google wants to know. Anything else, guys? Any other questions? Miriam, thank you. Great webinar as always. See you soon. Yes, thank you. Thank you guys for joining. All right. For the last 35 years, my personal professional motto has been people helping people benefit from technology. Yes, Yoel, great stuff. Humans helping humans. We're totally aligned there. Anything else, guys? Anybody else has any questions? Many thanks. It was very, very edifying and well worth every minute. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Yes, no, not sleeping here. Have a great day. We'll stay in touch. You have my email. You have my LinkedIn. Follow me. Let's continue the conversation. Show up to the next webinars and we'll make it happen. Take it easy, guys. Have a good one. Bye-bye.